one of my heroes, the original gangsters, the original gangster with Andrew Breitbart of the Tea Party movement, Jim Hoft. Jim, people know that they try to put you in prison and bankrupt you for Georgia and other things on the stolen election of 2020. They forget how many other times they tried to bankrupt you on so many other causes because you've been fearless as a publisher over the Gateway Pundit. A major, massive win at the Supreme Court yesterday. Tell me about it.
Yes, Steve, we had a huge win for the American people. This was yesterday. It was announced. This was myself, Dr. Cariotti, Jill Hines from Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, the state of Missouri, and we won the Missouri v. Biden case that was brought before the Supreme Court years ago now. And they came back yesterday and settled. And it was great news for us and for the whole country. What was happening was that the Biden administration was pressuring social media to take down content that they didn't like, content they would call malinformation or misinformation or disinformation, which is just, bogus lines that they came up with. And they can't do that anymore. The government can't do that. And so it's a huge win. I'd love to share one or two paragraphs from the decision. And one is the parties agree that modern technology does not alter the government's obligation to abide by the strictures of the First Amendment. So that means just because it's on the internet, the government still can't alter First Amendment rights. So that's huge. The other thing is the government cannot take actions, formal or informal, directly or indirectly, to threaten social media companies with some form of punishment unless they delete, remove, suppress, or reduce content containing protected free speech. So they shouldn't be doing that anymore. You know what's amazing, too, is what we found out during this investigation was that nearly every department in the U.S. government has their own censorship group that's working inside that department. Health and Human Services and the Pentagon and all of these places had these groups inside their organizations that would flag content and send it off to Facebook and have them take it down. So they can't do that anymore. And they never should have been able to do that. It seems pretty simple, doesn't it? But we won yesterday, and I'd like to thank Eric Schmidt, who started this. He was Attorney General in Missouri at the time. Now, of course, he's a great senator from Missouri. And Governor Laundrie from Louisiana, he was the Attorney General when this started. Now he's the governor. And the people along the way have continued to push this case. So we had some good results yesterday.
Let me ask you, just all the time and effort, opportunity cost, but particularly the legal fees, do you get recompensated for that? You've been fighting this one for how many years?
At least 2023, and they were collecting information before that. So yeah, they're
3 or 4 years
still deciding on the compensation, I believe. And but more than just the lawyer costs, Steve. When they take down your content and nobody can see it, and you have a business like Gateway Pundit or Breitbart or Daily Wire or Daily Caller, that costs you money because nobody can see your content. So that was devastating for us. And we saw it happen. We knew what was happening immediately. In fact, it started after Trump won his first election. Back in 2017, they started doing this.
100%.
Our Facebook traffic went from 30% of our traffic down to zero. So it's been going on a while.
For Zuckerberg, when we realized how we gamed the system, Cernovich and those guys over the Pepes, Cernovich and those guys, magnificent. Trump would have never been where he was if it was not for that crowd. Plus Breitbart. And remember, always Ben Shapiro said, "Oh, Bannon's turned Breitbart into Trump Pravda." Okay, Gateway Pundit, one of the original gangsters, Jim Hoft. Just remember, every day you go to the Gateway Pundit, and you ought to go multiple times a day. When you see those articles up, understand that there are great forces in the world that are trying to do either bankrupt Jim Hoft or put him in jail. When you go and click on one of their advertisers and sponsors, understand that they're great, powerful forces in this world, not just the United States, in this world, that are trying to put Jim Hoft in prison or trying to bankrupt Jim Hoft. That's why, brother, you're one of the original gangsters. This guy is fearless. You have never, ever, ever backed down, and you've never taken the knee, and that's why you're an inspiration. You and Andrew Breitbart, the two original gangsters that kind of started this people's revolution in journalism, has just been magnificent. And Andrew, I think, would be very, very proud, Jim, how you fought through here, and you've never, ever, ever let them win because you just keep fighting. Where do people go for the Gateway Pundit, sir?
They can go to thegatewaypundit.com, and they can go to Gateway Pundit on Getter and X and Facebook when they put our articles up, and all the social medias. So we're out there still.
Hoft, you're going to be out there. You're a patriot and a hero. Gateway Pundit only gets bigger. It's now a beast. Can't stop the Gateway Pundit. Sir, thank you so much.
All right.
Incredible.
Thank you, Steve.